Hey everyone, it's Jim T. Graham and Jason Coe with RCGroups, the most dynamic radio control team in the history of RC. It was voted on last week. It was approved by the YouTube Board of Approvals. And so, Jason, congratulations on being one of the most dynamic people in the hobby.
I will accept this humbly and graciously, and looking forward to hanging out with you guys on Thursday. Today's not Thursday.
Well, first of all, let me say that the only regret I have about receiving this award is that I didn't take a shower yet, because I had planned on going to the gym and working out, but life got in the way. This has happened for about the last 3 weeks. So other than that, I'm very happy. And yes, it is not Thursday. It is indeed Wednesday. And any live viewers that show up today, we're going to appreciate you twice as much. Did I say appreciate or depreciate?
I appreciate works. I think that's appropriate.
What I'm going to do now, my friends, is find a clean channel on the internet. And by that, I mean one without a tab open. And I'm going to go to rcgroups.com, our RCG videos on YouTube, where if you're watching this and you're not a subscriber, you better get on it. And that way you'll know when we come a day early with the podcast, bringing it from the most dynamic RCGroups, RC team on the internet. I have a couple. I just remembered something, Jason, and I know if I don't say it, I won't remember to say it later. I saw a post go by. I was helping out the guys at the Cajun Huck Fest, sponsored by Extreme Flight. And
Cajun out there, some crawfish.
Yeah, well, they are going to have crawdad, I bet. And they were thanking everyone that helped them, and they had me in the list. And there was a post there that said, "Does anyone?" He asked Ken Schaefer, if he said, "You're probably the most expert people about mass hovers. What's the most ever in a mass hover?" Yeah. And I felt highly compelled to not only explain that I invented the word mass hover, Jason, I am 100% true that is a claim that is for real.
There's probably multiple terms that you've coined over the years in the RC industry.
That is true. What happened was in 2000, I believe, now I checked on this. I talked to Blaine Austin. I did not certainly invent airplanes hovering at one time. But I did invent the word mass hover. So what happened? Okay, I'm going to have to go take a dog out if it keeps chiming the back door like that. Anyway, I went down the line at 104 and I yelled mass hover, mass hover, mass hover, mass hover. Then I ran down the other line. This is when I was younger and ran everywhere. And so that was the day that I coined the phrase mass hover. And that's where it began. And so his real question was, what is the record? And I know what the record is, and I think we hold it now. This is two-stroke planes that I'm talking about here.
Yeah, Nitro 40 size profile planes.
Yeah, so the highest number I've ever had in the air, I say it was 48, but I brought it down to 44 just to be safe. So
that's a lot of airplanes.
Say what?
So that's a lot of airplanes.
Well, I found a video from a year after that. Now, I don't think we broke the record the year after, but still, if you go look at the video, you're like, holy smokes. But then Karen Schaefer posted a video of 22 giant scale planes in the air at one time.
Now that's impressive also.
It was unbelievable. Because
there's a lot more skin in the game in that kind of a contest.
And the two strokes are like, nah, but the giant scales are like, whoa, it was crazy.
Smoking it out too, I bet.
Well, you know how giant scale guys are.
Oh yeah, they like to smoke it low.
So let's start out and let's talk about someone we lost this week. I don't know if anyone was aware, but Dave Mathewson has been fighting cancer for more than a few years, and I was never sure if it was a secret or not, and that's the kind of thing you don't talk about. So,
right.
I have been keeping in touch with Dave, but I think you and I spoke lately. I had not been able to get a hold of him. And so we got the news that he had passed away. And I wrote an article on RCGroups. You can go check it out. I met Dave. I was at Toledo, and the Profile Brotherhood, once again, back in I guess was in the old 2002 area. Dave was just starting his concept to run for the AMA Prez. And the whole hobby thought that 3D was going to bring the hobby down, of course. We were the villains and the outlaws.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so I wanted, well, actually, I'm pretty sure Pro Bro said, if you see Dave Mathewson, find out where he stands on this. So at Toledo, there he was. I walked up to him and he stopped what he was doing and said, I would love to talk to you about it. And he sat there and talked to me about that and a lot of other things. I brought all that information back to the Pro Bros, and evidently every damn one of them voted. Yeah. And so the day that Dave was elected, before it went public, Dave called me and said, hey, before anyone knows, I wanted to call you and say thank you for all your support. And I never really talked about that too much because I didn't know if that was something that Dave wanted me to talk about or not. But I will say that in retrospect, it always meant a lot to me that he took not only the time to talk to me, but also to call me and let me know.
Yeah.
And then for years after that, you and I would see Dave and his wife Ginger at all these events. And I would always make a point to go see Dave and talk to him and sit down. And then also to hug Ginger and talk to her. And then Dave came and visited me at Nashbro. And in my article, I have pictures of this. He and Mark T. Smith came, and I thought I was like, what is the AMA president doing at Nashbro? It just was counterintuitive, right?
What? Yeah.
And so they hung out for, I think, 2 days. And on the second day, on a Saturday, they presented me, and my wife was there, my kids were there, and my wife actually took photos. And that's what I used in the story of them presenting me with an award. I actually have it. I should go get it before the podcast is over. It's up on the wall. And so the end of all of my talking here is Dave Mathewson, a good friend. We lost a huge ambassador to the hobby. And that just means that you and I have to be bigger ambassadors to the hobby to help fill partially his shoes.
Yeah. We've been losing a lot of good guys lately.
Yeah. Life is short. That's why you should go buy a new Snipe, and I should go get my 68 C10 truck. Because based on what I'm seeing, you could die at any moment.
Simmer down now and enjoy it while it lasts. Isn't that right?
That's right. And you're getting pretty old now, Jason. We were just talking about that. You're how old?
39.
39. He's on the cusp, y'all.
One more year to go.
And while you're sitting there in your shirt, leaning back, about to tell us how badass you are, check Jason's shirt out, everybody.
It's #1 rule, y'all. Read the manual.
RTM. So Jason was lamenting. Was it you or one of us had the idea that should be a shirt? And I made it.
You did make it. Bye, Jim. Everybody, Jim T. Graham. He's done with the show. Oh, wait, no, he just goes in the door. Here he comes.
I like my outfit.
Here he comes.
I'm tan on tan, baby.
Yeah. Braids hanging down. Can I touch your braids?
Hey, I've been playing Far Cry 4 or 5, I guess 5. And my daughter noted that all the cultist hillbillies, I dress exactly like them, not on purpose. It's like, man. All right, that's cool.
AB on that. Show it out.
So, Jason, I have a little airplane, nothing major to talk about here, but Jason does. I called Jason on the phone. He was out of town, and I called him on Monday. And I believe his exact words to me were, you have no idea, do you? And I was like, I guess I don't.
You don't know, but when you do, you will.
So everyone, right now, after this commercial break, Jason Cole is going to tell us all about the pumpkin chunk, and how he did. Now, stay tuned for these messages from our site sponsors. HobbyKing.com, bringing you airplanes, quadcopters, 3D printers, and more. HobbyKing.com. We've been around forever, ever. Go visit the podcast sponsor of RCGroups.com, HobbyKing.com. Now back to Jason. Jason, how you like that? That was pretty pro.
That's great, man. Hey, the Pumpkin Chunk / Team Selects for F3K. That's discus launch gliders. If you don't know, these are little 1.5 meter hand launch gliders. You throw them from the wingtips straight up into the sky, fly some tasks. It is one of the most challenging soaring competitions you can do. It takes a lot of skill and fitness and effort, and most contests run for about a day and a half. Team Selects happened to run for 3 straight days. It was a lot of flying. I'm surprised I could move enough to get up the stairs to be on the show today because my body is like feeling it. I'm so sore. My lower back, behind my knees, everything about me. I can feel the 39 years of age in my bones fighting it to try to heal and recover from the event. So, how did it go? Let's talk about some fun, notable things that happened. On Friday last week, before the main contest starts, we do a little fun little contest like an all-up last down. And how it works is everybody goes out on the field. Everybody launches at the same time. There's a countdown. First person that lands is out. They walk off the field, and you just keep doing that until we have a winner. And it just so happens I get to the final two. It's me and another guy named Toby. Now, Toby has a nickname, and it's the Gorilla. And Toby's a big guy. And Toby throws his gliders really high, like higher than most people can reach. So in competition,
that comes tell us how high that is.
Well, 240 plus feet, 240 to 270, 280 feet in the air, which is really high. So it's a huge advantage if you can out-launch, your competition. So normally there's a strategy involved where if you're ahead of somebody and all you have to do is not lose to them, not land before them, and you can out-launch them, you launch higher than them, and you just follow them. Wherever they go, you go. It's called covering them. So you just cover them, and they literally can't out-climb you because you're flying in the same air at the same time, and you land after them no matter what because you launched higher. And so for this final few rounds of the all-up last down contest, I should have brought the mug. The top three get a mug. So I got a mug, obviously, because I'm in the top two here. So the final launch happens, and they make us do a no-spin launch. So you basically have to plant your feet. You're not allowed to move your feet, do a rotation, anything. You can't even follow through and take a step. You just have to stand and fling it into the air. So we do that.
Have you ever done that before, Jason?
I've never. I've done it like a long time ago when Peter Goldsmith was training me on how to launch, and he was like showing me how all of your power came from the last little bit of rotation, not necessarily the run up into the rotation. Anyway, I like spread my legs real far apart. I leaned way back to try to get some forward momentum into the whip, and I just whipped it. I whipped it good, man. And I out-launched the Gorilla. No. And everybody was dying. And they were like, cover him, Jason, cover him. And he's like, shut up. And so I covered him and beat him and won the all-up last down contest. Got me a trophy, a little mug with some F3K and a glider on it. It's really cool.
Hey, wait. Have you done a story on this?
I have not.
I didn't think so.
I have not. We've been posting. There's a big thread. I've got some pictures and stuff I can show. Let me show you Toby real quick.
Yeah, do it. You could pepper that in while you're talking.
Cameraman. All right, screen share. Application window. Right chair. Here we go.
Everybody, I was trying a tricky thing, and it didn't work, and that's why we had 2 podcasts go off today.
Yeah. All right, so the Punkin Chuck, and by the way, this was at Mac Hodges Field, which was great. So here is the all-up last down winners.
I did not know it was at Mac Hodges.
Yeah, it's at Mac Hodges' place. So, and I got some good information to tell you guys here in a little bit. So we'll try to get to it all. But these are little mugs we got. If you can see that, it's pretty cool. So I came in first. Toby came in second. Nathan came in third. These 2 guys got mugs because they were the first 2 out. So they were giving mugs to the first 2 guys that landed out. So it's kind of neat, something different. But that's Toby. You can see the size difference between he and I. Big dude, lots of power, can throw real high. So it was so much fun to be able to out-launch him and win that contest. Really fun. I'll go through. There's some more pics. You've got Mac Hodges' place. You can see the weather vane there. So anyway, that was the day before the contest. So here's the pilots meeting on Saturday morning. Wow. It was real socked in, foggy, and we had to delay the start of the event. But we had, 40-something pilots there. And, it's a real good turnout. It's literally the best pilots in the country are coming out to try out, to make the team, to go to the Worlds, to compete, in the World Championship, to represent the United States. It's a serious deal, big time contest. Best
let me interrupt right there. I think it would be highly appropriate next year for you to wear pajamas.
Yeah, these guys, pajama in and out. So, you know, I'm coming in with the expectation, knowing that I'm a pretty decent pilot. And, you know, there's a chance I probably won't make it, but there's a chance I could make the top 3. You know, I've been as high as 4th place at a major competition, you know, against these guys. So I'm like, you know, we're just going to have fun and enjoy it. So day 1 goes by, and Jason Cole sitting in the top of the leaderboard in 1st place. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I'm like, yeah, it'll probably change tomorrow. I said, I am very aware of the temporary nature of my current position because it can shuffle with just one little bobble. Anyway, end of day 2, Jason Cole sitting at the top of the leaderboard 2 days in a row, which is more than a normal traditional contest. So I'm feeling really good. Like I've just basically beat everybody for an entire contest length worth of rounds and won, right? The best pilot in the country for those 2 days. And I'm like, yeah, this is awesome.
Were you rubbing it in any way? You know,
well,
like walking by?
Toby, the gorilla, so I beat him in that. There was one round where I put a pretty good hurting on him, you know, made him lose a lot of points. And as we flew against each other, and then we were both checking the score sheets out, and I was ahead of him in 1st place. He was like 2nd or 3rd. And I just looked at him. I was like, Toby, I just keep beating you at stuff, man. How's that feel? Everybody's just laughing. We all competition until, you know, things like this happen.
Unicorn, love it.
You never know when a unicorn and a, you know,
who are those
wig's going to show up. This is actually Jody. Jody is the number 2 guy in the world in F3J soaring. So he went to the Worlds, came in 2nd place in the world. So good dude. He was there to help out and do some official timing and stuff. So pretty fun. This is obviously Gavin Trussell. Always bring in the shenanigans at events. Super fun. This is the trailer. We store all our gliders in at night so you don't have to tear them down or put them in your car. Nice. Keep them nice and safe. And this is my new DLG get up when it's sunny out to keep the sun off my nose and my face.
I saw that on another site.
Yeah. So that's, you know, that worked pretty good. A lot of the guys have been doing that for years. And I was like, you know what? I got to do this because I burn pretty easily. So day 3 comes. We've got about 4 rounds to fly before the team select fly-offs. Basically, they were going to take the top 10 guys after the preliminary rounds into an 8-round fly-off, which is a lot of rounds for a fly-off. And before we get to that, we also were running a separate contest for juniors. I don't remember what the age limit is, if it's 18 or what, but there's also a junior team. And this is your USA junior team. I only know one guy. This is Noah Myers. Didn't really know these other 2 guys, but they flew really well. This is a great junior team. They're going to represent us well. So that's super exciting.
I love the BAMF.
Yep. That's a great launching airplane, good flying airplane. It's one of the newer planes. That was the other thing that people were having fun with, is that I was in 1st place for the first 2 days flying like 4-year-old snipes, you know, and there's newer, better airplanes out there that everybody has gone to that I'm still flying the old stuff.
It's not the guitar, it's the player.
That's right. So day 3's here. I ended up having a midair with Gavin Trussell during one of the rounds.
You had a tussle with Trussell.
We had a tussle with Trussell. And I did damage my airplane. It was in the middle of a flight, and I had to do one more flight after that in that round. But it was a 1-minute flight, which you don't have to launch it very high to fly for a minute. So I was like, we had the midair. Luckily, nothing like major like broke off or did anything, and we were able to recover and fly out of it and still make our time. And as it was coming in, I had to do a quick turnaround where I needed to grab the wingtip while it's in the air and relaunch it as quickly as possible to get the best time. And so as I was flying it in for the approach, I could see things sticking up out of my wing where basically we hit. And I knew it was damaged. And I'm like, oh, man, do I try to throw it and just fold the wing up and break it and crash immediately? And I was like, I'm doing so well. I'm going to just launch it and do about 70% launch. And I did. It was fine. Nothing even moved on it. And I was able to make that time and do a quick field repair. That was the last flight. I guess that was Sunday. So that was the day before the third day. So I was able to do a quick field repair with some thin CA and some foil tape on it. And it was ready for day 3. So day 3 comes around. I don't know if I could find the actual score sheet. Yeah, so day 3 is here. We're flying these last rounds. You can see my scores here. So I was doing pretty good. I had a pretty bad round in this round 14 all up. I had an 868 out of 1,000, which is not great. You need to be doing 900s and 1,000s to really stay at the top. So I'm doing good, doing good, doing good. Bam. The second to the last round, I get a 700. So this round, I'm in first place all the way up through round 19, which is incredible. This round happens. I miss a thermal. Everybody hooked up in this thermal. I was in the bottom of it trying to get it, and it just would not take me up. I think I had ballast in my airplane because it was a little turbulent and windy, but my plane was just too heavy. I couldn't get into the core of that thermal and get out with everybody. So I lost 300 points on that, which was enough to move me down to 4th place. And then I came back and had another great round in the last of the preliminaries. So I end the preliminaries in 4th place, which is great because I'm only, like 200, 100 something points out of 3rd place. You're trying to make the top 3 to make the team, or 4th place is good because you'd be an alternate in case somebody can't go. But we go into the fly-off. So they take the top 10 guys, and here's the score of the fly-offs. I have not a great round in the first one. Good round, really bad round in the 4th one.
Wow.
Really good round, not so great, but okay. And then really good. And that was enough to move me down. Having these really bad round and 2 mediocre rounds is all it takes to move you from 4th to 6th and be out of the running. So you basically had to be perfect or really close to it with 980s plus to make it in. So there's your top 3: Toby Herrera, the Gorilla, Nathan Bartley, who we're working on a nickname for, and Rito. Great pilots. This is an awesome team. They're going to represent the USA well. Toby's been to the Worlds before. I think he's got some unfinished business. He wants to do really well. So, man, what an event. Here's your guys. There's Rito, Toby, and Nathan in the yellow shirt. Good dudes, good flying. And so I don't have any pictures. There's a video somewhere of this. I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen share here. Max got a boatload of airplanes, real full-size airplanes. He's ultralights, Cubs, biplanes. He's got, just planes and hangars, planes in his old shop everywhere. So Mac pulls out this little airplane. And he brings it out, and we're all looking at it, and it's got fold-up wings, and he unfolds them and hooks, sets it up. It's basically like a small version of a Kit Fox. It's a single-place experimental airplane. It's got a little 50 horsepower Rotax 503 engine on it. And we're all getting ready to go to dinner, but we're like, we're not leaving. We're going to watch this. And we think Mac's just going to take off, and go out and cruise, somewhere. So he takes off. And it was basically like someone had a giant scale airplane on the field, and they were flying at RC.
What was he doing?
He takes off and, banks it around, comes in for a low pass, banks it around, comes in, flying around, cruising real low, comes in, puts the wheels on the lake, hydroplanes on the lake, takes back off, and we're going, oh my gosh, comes in with the flaps down, hits tail first, and then brings the wheels down, and then takes back off in no time. And he flying around for 15, 20 minutes right in our face. It was an amazing air show. And he did the hydroplane on the lake probably 10 times.
And nobody videotaped this? Come on.
There was some videotaping, but they're on people's phones. I don't know where they ended up.
First of all, no one used video or tape.
Yeah. It was amazing. It was so much fun to watch. And then he comes in and lands, and we all clapping, and thanks for the air show. And he's telling us about it and how he had custom wheels made and brakes and stuff, and how he was playing with having the brakes on when he hydroplanes or letting them off, and it actually goes faster when their brakes aren't on. And he was telling us all about it. So that was just super, super cool to be able to do that. A lot of people were like, man, we're always having events at Max Place because you just never know what you're going to get besides the amazing facility. It was a good time.
When I die, that I'll walk in the light and then I'll be at Max Field.
Yeah, that could be it, man. It was beautiful. The grass is so golf course green, pretty. And I was camping out. I camped out under the pavilion, where they have the raffle going on during Seth. I was in between some beams and actually had access to power, and it got pretty cold one night. So I turned on my electric heater and I had my tent covering my hammock, and it just filled that with hot, nice, warm air, and it kept me warm and cozy all night long.
I thought about you when it got so cold.
Yeah, I was doing well, man. It was a good time. So, in one way I'm sad I blew it, but on the other hand, I kicked some serious butt for about 2.5 days of a lot of flying and some really harsh conditions with weather patterns and wind and different, just challenges against the best pilots in the country. So I feel like I can definitively say I'm one of the best DLG pilots in the country. I think I proved that, in this competition, even though I didn't make the top 3 at the end, but I'm right up there. It's just got to put it all together one of these years and we'll get that W. So I love it. It's a good time. You guys should check it out. Fly some DLGs, get a hold of one no matter what you got to do it. You'll love it.
You got to do it. Jason, I think I'm echoing on your system.
You are not echoing on me.
What? Could it be through my headphones, maybe?
I don't know. I see they post that, but I'm not hearing it on my side.
I'm hearing it. I don't know. Well, this is all I've got to say is I don't know if this is related, but when I heard about Dave, I literally stood up and went out in the shop and started working on airplanes. And I had a bunch of airplanes from Nashbro. So, Jason, you don't know what I did is I decided which one I liked the most. And it was a Theory Type W out of all the ones that I brought. I don't know if it's because it's little and easy to throw or that it's fast or maneuverable. I said this last week. But I went in here and I had gutted everything out of this airplane thinking I was going to make it better, right?
Okay.
Well, so what I did is, and I've taught myself a lesson, is that I went in and I put back the original transmitter here in the bottom. I put back the original antenna and I put back the original camera and plugged it all back in and got it going.
Nice.
The only thing I did is I did crash this thing. I'm hearing the echo. And you can see I have a little slit in my wing and I can't undo that.
Oh, it won't go back together?
Oh, wait. I just did it.
You did it. Live on the RCGroups podcast.
I took it apart like 6 times, put it back together, looked at it, took it apart, put it in. I was like, oh, whatever. I don't care. So that's good.
That is a really fun plane fly FPV. I still am excited about the flight I did when you reviewed it like months and months ago.
I crashed it hard enough to rip out the camera that was mounted. I ripped the plastic piece right out of the top. So that must have been I was flying in my mind, like I said. So I thought that I landed it fine, but evidently it took a hit. And then this wing was askew and it threw the video cam on top off and it threw this off. But I found it all. I haven't flown it since, I have to say, but I think everything's fine. So
that's
anyway,
a real good reason to have a stabilization system on your FPV airplanes, like Safe, for instance. If you had Safe on that and you lose video or whatever, flip it in the Safe mode, pull the power back, it'll land itself. No doubt, as long as it doesn't hit something, directly. But if you're in a field, it's just going to land all by itself and be fine for you.
P.S. I know it. I've written it in multiple reviews. I didn't do it. It didn't even occur to me. It went static. I got it behind a hill. And then, of course, the signal couldn't penetrate an acre of dirt. And then I thought, I don't know how high I am or because I was flying on the side of a hill. So I could have been anything.
Yeah, that's one of the things that it's like experience and preparation, like that kind of worries me about newer drone pilots that are trying to do commercial operations. It's like, sure, they might be able to control it appropriately when things are going right.
Right.
And what happens when things go wrong? Like, how do you react? Do you panic? Do you know exactly what to do in an emergency situation, how to handle it the best, safest way? And a lot of people that are newer pilots that are getting into this for that purpose don't have that experience or ability to really make proper decisions and just be like, oh, I don't know what to do. Just stop flying.
Yeah. Then they walk away like that guy.
Yeah.
One thing that reminds me of is when we were at Hobby Lobby and I was flying the Piggy, and that was a 3D airplane. And then Randy was flying the Funky Chicken.
Yeah, the Funky Chicken.
And we flew into each other in the Funky Chicken. Now, how could that have happened? Anyway, somehow the tail of my Piggy airplane was cut and hanging by the servo wires. And I had put flaperons on it, and I had the mental capacity to flip into flaperons, and it actually landed that airplane at my feet, even with the tail dragging like this.
Yeah, where there's a will, there's a way.
So I'm going to go on record and saying currently, if I only had to go to the field with 2 planes today in an hour, it would be this and the Scimitar 170. And I would bring those 2, and that would be all I would need. And they would both, I could carry them both, out to the truck one-handed.
Yeah. It's funny. I saw a post from another guy that's on the F5J USA team that's going to the Worlds next year. Talk about his experience at the field, and he brought his competition giant 4-meter sailplane and a little Scimitar drone.
Huh.
So he was like, it's like blending the worlds together, soaring and drone flying.
One thing that I really love is I do a lot of reviews, and people love to hate reviews. They love to talk about how they're paid for and you're paid for, and it's a paid political announcement. And I think I saw this the other day too. My rule is if you don't see me reviewing an airplane, well, it might be because they didn't ask me to, but it also might be because it sucks. And I have received planes and never released the review because they were so terrible. Is that a good thing to tell people, Jason? I don't know. I'm just saying I'm not going to review a plane and then talk good about it if it's not good.
Yeah.
So when I do a Scimitar 170 and then I am subscribed to those threads, and then I see people saying I'm looking for this or that, and I just and then they get it, I better damn well be telling exactly the way it flies and what the things to be aware of it are, because they're going to have it and then they're going to know. So I love it when I fall in love with something and gush about it, and then other people find that it's awesome too.
Yeah. And it's not like we just get stuff sent to us for reviews. The reviewers on RCGroups and sometimes you just, get junk, but it's like most of the time you get to choose. Yes, right. I want to review that. I'll accept it, and it's usually things that you're interested in, you like, and we're going to be pretty good, in the first place. So, that plays a factor for sure.
And like, you never see me doing a giant scale plane. It would be awesome to have $3,000 worth of an airplane, but I'm not a giant scale pilot, and that's not my forte. And that goes to guys who've built them over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, although Nick, I did go look at that GB you were talking about. That looked like a local pickup to me, but that is about as close to, it was a 72-inch wingspan. It had a 4-stroke on it, and I would think it was $630. It was RTF. And if it was local, I might have to go look at it, but it would involve me going and becoming glow again. I'd have to have a power station. I think I still own that stuff. I don't think I sold all my power station starters and glow plugs. And all
I don't know if there's been much change in gas or nitro engine equipment over the years. Think about that. Like all of your stuff from decades ago are the same stuff that you buy today. Isn't that interesting?
I think it's a Sullivan. I have a starter that a neighbor gave it to me. And I didn't even know he had RC. And he's like, do you want this? And it was that big white and gold Sullivan. Overpowered for all my airplanes.
It's kind of blowing my mind thinking about that. You know how we have stuff changing in electric aircraft, all the time, but glow hasn't really changed at all that I'm aware of. Maybe it's just because I haven't been in it, but man.
Well, I'd say the biggest change is gas engines.
Yeah. Small gas engines that are working reliably and well enough. That's true.
All right. Jason, you haven't even seen the story, have you, on the top?
I just saw it right before we were going live.
I was talking to Manny, PS, speaking of reviews, I'm hearing that echo. I don't get it. If you don't hear the echo, how am I hearing the echo?
I don't know, and I was literally muted right then, so it's
crazy.
It's been coming through my mic.
So let's start here first. This came out in an email, I believe, last night. It's a Grobner MZ32 simulator. And I have been, that's the reason we did a double today. I've been working with OBS. I'm going to get it down. So I got into OBS, and I will zoom this out for you. And so basically you can go into the software of the MZ32 and the sim, and you can click around. I should be clicking around here. Looks like I'm just talking. There we go. You can get around in the sim and then play around on your computer as if you were in the actual MZ32. Pretty cool, eh, Jace?
I think that's brilliant.
Yeah. So I didn't go too deep because I got to say I didn't know exactly what I was doing, and I knew that the podcast was coming. And then I'm working on a whole other side project we've been talking about, Jason, with advertising. And I was right in the middle. It would be like being in the middle of brain surgery and then stopping to do a podcast. So I've got a whole open brain over here. I'm afraid to leave the table, actually. In fact, I can't. So anyway, this is going on, and I spoke with him about that. And then we go over and I look at the transmitter itself.
Cool.
So let me pop.
That's such a great marketing tool for them. If you're interested in it, but you don't know if you'd like it or how it's going to work, then to have that ability to go play with it online before you even have your radio and just take a peek at it,
Right.
Pretty cool.
And so then there's a link to that in the MZ32. Maybe it's my headphones, y'all. These are new headphones that don't sit on your ear. So maybe.
Well, it's weird how some people aren't hearing it on the chat and some are. So
let me show you one other thing that Jason and I are supposed to review. Let's see if it's on the homepage here. Maybe it's not released yet. I think it is.
Ooh, I know.
There it is. There it is.
Drone ball.
So Jason and I are both going to get one of these things. And the thing is that it's like you play soccer with it or basketball, I guess. And are there any more pictures here?
Or knock the other guy out of the sky ball.
It's a quad wrapped in this, I guess, some sort of plasticky type ball. And I don't know if it has lights on it or not.
It does have LED lights.
Around that ring, okay. And then I asked about FPV, Jason. He said almost no one who tried it in FPV liked it that way. They like the third-person view of trying to.
It seems, yeah, because of the K. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty fun, though. We'll have to come up with something cool to use it in. I was thinking about like just rolling it down my stairs in my house and then flying and try to roll back up somehow.
Well, he literally just said to me that these are they're going to me. So what I'll do probably is if they're easy, I got to think it's a battery charge, and I'll try to get them ready for both of us, and then we'll head out to the field before it gets too cold.
I can finally bring you your Flying Giants Joe Nall t-shirts.
Yes. Awesome. So there's two things to talk about right there. And then what else? Let's just run the keys. First of all, Jason, I'm not very happy with you.
Why is that? Did I beat you this time?
Yeah. What is up with you and doing 3 stories in 5 minutes?
Sometimes you just got to work. Got to get them done. You got to get them stories out there for everybody so they can
you don't know what it is.
Talking about it.
So that's got to be my 3D printer, don't you think?
It's pretty much, I mean, to me, it looks like a knockoff clone of the Creality CR10.
It's exactly it's pretty exact. Definitely looks like mine.
I don't write that necessarily, but that's to me what it looks like.
Well, they're all.
And I don't own a CR10, so it's just based off of visuals.
They're all coming out of the same factory, so.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to look at it and I'll tell you. Yeah, that's the same menu.
Uh-huh.
That is the same head and fans. I'm intimate with this unit. I've taken it apart so many times.
So
I will say
like it's going to be like several $100s cheaper.
how could it be? I think 400 is what mine pet costs. So this one's even bigger than he's looking at. Mine is this one over here. So
well, that one over there, that's yours, actually has, they're the same X and Y dimension, 330 by 330. And then the other one goes higher. The one that's like you have, the CR10, actually goes higher than the box frame one. The kind of the claim to fame on the boxy shaped one, the X5S, is that it's a different style of moving the motors, and it's able to move faster without affecting the print. So you can get prints done quicker. So you'll be able to have a faster travel speed with it and still have the same quality.
Pretty hot. And I do have a picture of the cow horns on the Cadillac, but not on this webpage here. So we have a giant scale F4U.
So this guy's got a build thread. You can see how this was built on RCGroups. The second post in the replies down below has a link to that. I didn't really know it was. I just saw the video and I was like, this is amazing. The coolest indoor plane I've ever seen, pretty much. It's a quarter scale, home built out of Depron foam, F4U Corsair. It's got flaps, it's got lights, it's got a scale cockpit, it's got retractable gear, automatic, folding wings. Just a massively awesome airplane. Look how scaled out it is. But get this. So that prop and power system is basically the mechanics from a 450 size helicopter.
Wow.
And it's just amazing. It weighs 4 kilograms.
It's like one of those helium airplanes.
Yeah, but no helium inside, but it's just so light and runs off a 3-cell 2,000 milliamp-hour battery pack. It's just, when I see cool stuff like that, you just have to feature it. It's just,
heck yeah,
just the epitome of model aviation. Just being,
if you could buy that, I would buy it.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Wow.
And he's not flying this in a big place. That's a quarter scale Corsair flying in, this place, which isn't, it's big, but it's not massive.
That's insane.
It's just so cool. Look how big that airplane is next to that guy.
That's insane. Either somebody started a fire in the new fire pit or my house is on fire. And if you see me running.
Do you need to go check that out?
Nah. I'm a man of mystery.
Podcast, though. If it's going to burn, let's watch it burn.
Jason, I'm going to jump off of here for a second. I'm going to let you talk, and then I'm going to go find my Cadillac photo because people want it.
You find that Cadillac. All right. Well, I will talk about what else we have on here. These are pretty cool. Let me see if I can screen share this. I saw Horizons, and this is interesting to me. They've been doing some things with the ECX brand where it's not available online, and they only sell it in hobby shops, so they're dealers. But this is the ECX 24 scale Mirage UV. This is like a new version of the Mirage, 4-wheel drive, scale, cool looking bodies. But the killer feature is, if you look closely, that is 8 FPV camera. So these guys are outfitted with 25 milliwatt, combo camera transmitters. Comes with a little 4.3 inch screen, LCD screen. And, you get the screen, the transmitter, the batteries. It's everything you need. FPV truck crawler for $199. It is a pretty big deal. So this is kind of funny. They showed this guy, like, he's disgusted at his kids playing video games. It's like, come on, kids. I got an idea. I'm going to get you off these video games. We're going to go outside, and we're going to play. So he hooks him up with this, and then he ends up having a blast FPV driving some trucks, man.
That's awesome. Hey, this is on my phone, and they are slid back a little bit. Let's see if we can get a focus. Check. There
you go.
Check. Okay, that's not going to work. I'll be right back.
I can see it.
I'll do something better. One moment, please. I did get a message just now on my phone that says, it's from my wife, and it says, yeah, MFer, I can build an MF fire. I'm a fire pit master.
That's so funny. So it is a fire in your fire pit.
I don't know if she heard me or if she was just bragging off the top of her head.
I hope she heard you, because that's awesome.
Well, here's a photo, and not one of that that shows them. I'll find the other one in just a second. This is from my personal stuff. So
there it is.
Yeah. So there they are on the hood. You know, I got to say, once mounted, they are pretty straight. You know, they need to be a little curvier. And then I'm going to go back up to the top here. See if my photo actually, there it is. This is a good photo. So what do you think about that, Jason? They're kind of far back. I was trying to figure out where the best mounting point was for all the magnets on the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know what is period accurate, but that still looks pretty cool.
Well, there's no period accurate. I've seen the craziest cow horn setups you've ever seen. Ultimately, it may just need to be bolted on, like in the grill or something. So I don't know. I did drive around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Cadillac's looking good in that photo, though.
Yeah, buddy.
So get out of there. As far as news, I think we're getting to the end of the show here. If you want to go check out or make a post about Dave, you can find it right there. Great shot. And then this is us at Nashbro. And then me receiving an award. I'm holding it in my hand right there. And Mark T. Smith, who was awful good to me throughout the years. There's Ginger. And then there's a video and everything. So go check it out. And there's much more. There's this. I'll say one more thing. We talked about this last week, though. So no need to talk about the Hobby King Sky Shadow this week yet. Jason, I have so many things to do work-wise that I can't even imagine that I'll be stopping until tonight. So I'm going to jump out and make the magic.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for hanging with us, guys.
Nick, what are you stuck on? Stuck on JT. Oh, okay.
Oh, that was before. Yeah. It's all fixed. It's moving. I'm looking at it.
All right. Well, everybody, I'll be over here doing my thing. Jason, you're in town now. You're not going anywhere else for a while?
Yeah, no more events till next month. I'm sitting on the fence. I want to go to a big, it's called the Tangerine. It's a big glider contest down in Florida by my mom's house. It's at Kenny World, which Kenny died. It's another great RC guy that died recently. And they're still going to have the contest at that property. And should be a good one. So can't go wrong with Florida weather in November, hopefully, as long as there's no hurricanes. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Well, all right. I want to thank everybody for jumping in a day early. We had a scheduling issue for tomorrow, and Jason had all this information to talk about at the Punkin Chunk. So we wanted to make sure and get all that out. Once again, condolences to the Dave Mathewson family, and be sure to try and be as big an ambassador to the hobby as Dave was. And Jason, thank you. And I've got to get back to brain surgery over there. Also, if I didn't say it, thanks to our live viewers, Wick and Daniel and Nick and Steve and the AMA. Chigwidden was here again, the famous Chigwidden. Cy Jones. You know, I think Cy Jones is actually the name of somebody like a person. I saw it on the TV the other day.
Wow.
What else?
Crazy.
Mark Benson is the one that was on from the AMA. That's what I was hunting for. All right, Jason, be sure and read the manual, and we'll talk to you next week on the RCGroups podcast, brought to you by Hobby King at hobbyking.com.
RTM.
Bingo.